Welcome back to the Yurong Show, where we help entrepreneurs live their best lives. I'm your host, Justin Yurong, and today I'm going to be talking about how your health is killing your business. Now, this is actually a big thing that I see with entrepreneurs. I see a lot of entrepreneurs crushing it in business, and don't get me wrong, if your health is bad, you can still crush it in business, but then I see them suffer in a lot of other areas of life. So what I have learned is that really the healthier you are, the better that you take care of yourself, the better your business seems to become. And it's not like something that has direct correlation, but it's a big indirect correlation in terms of you just start to think clearly. You can make better decisions when you're overall healthier, you're taking care of your heart, you're going to exercise. And I'm not saying anyone out here needs to get jacked right away. All I'm saying is that I know the times in my life where I have gotten into a rut, or maybe I've just fallen off track for some whatever reason. It always kind of stems back to me figuring it out and thinking, oh, during that time of my rut, I wasn't really taking care of myself that well. I got so stressed and so overwhelmed with my business or other things in life, relationships, whatever that was, that I stopped taking care of my health. I stopped prioritizing the exercising every single day. I stopped prioritizing the getting the good sleep, the drinking the plenty of water every single day. I stopped taking my vitamins. All these little things start to add up. And especially when I'm stressful, I've noticed I've had a tendency to want and crave bad foods for my body. Keep in mind, I used to be a personal trainer. No food is technically bad. No food's inherently bad. It's just fuel. But I tend to overeat with high caloric foods when I'm stressed. At least that's what's happened in the past, and it's always led to some type of rut. Like I said, it's not a direct correlation, but just from my experience, the healthier I've been, the more I've taken care of my body, the more money I have seemed to made, and the happier I've been overall. The better my relationships have been, the better I can seem to move around every single day, the happier I tend to be. And I think that if you're in the position right now, you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I'm not in the best real shape. I'm not really taking care of myself. I don't do all this cardio. I drink barely any water every single day. I want you to make a game plan for yourself. And I know you might not know me that well, but I promise you, this will help you. I don't care what position you are in. The healthier you are, the better your life will be. And that's a promise. So if you're kind of trying to figure out how to do this on your own and how to try to be healthy, here's where I want you to start. The number one thing in order to be healthy is really just understanding what you put into your body. That's the first step. So there's food and there's liquids. In terms of food, all you have to really do is try to focus on foods that'll give you good fuel in terms of lots of nutrients, so lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, lots of protein. And that's the main thing. And as you eat those high nutrient dense foods, you tend to not overeat on calories. Now, what I always tell people is that everyone kind of knows what they need to do in order to get healthy. The hard part is doing it. And if you want to do it, you just have to understand what you're really working for. What is your overall goal and how much of this are you willing to commit yourself to? Because if you don't have full commitment, you will not get very far. You're going to give up as soon as it gets hard, as soon as you crave a cake or a cupcake or a brownie. As soon as you crave that, you will give up because you don't have the full commitment and you don't know what you're willing to sacrifice yet. So that's the first thing, is understand why you think you actually need to make this change. And as I kind of described earlier, everything in your life just gets better and better. So it starts with the food, what you put into your body. In terms of what I do in order to feel healthy in terms of just food, I really just focus on eating protein first. I try to fill myself with protein-filled foods, whether that's lean meats or supplements or like Greek yogurts, anything that could be high protein. And you can find the nutrition facts on every single food item out there pretty much. But just focus on high protein foods. It keeps you full. It helps your satiety levels. So you stay full throughout the days if you just eat the protein. And typically, if you eat that, you eat some vegetables, you eat some slow digesting carbs, complex carbs, the brown rices, the oatmeals, you tend to be in a really good position. Now, I'm not here to advocate for any type of diet, any type of fad diet or anything like that. I'm just here to make sure that you're eating healthy and you're trying to be a better person overall. So that's the first thing. The second thing is liquid. Now, in terms of liquid, water is the most important. I think everyone should be shooting to get at least half a gallon a day. That's just to remain healthy. Now, if you work out and you actively exercise, which I also recommend for you to do, try to get a gallon of water a day. And you hearing that might seem drastic, but I promise you that is an absolute game changer in the terms of how much energy you have throughout the day. And the more energy you have throughout your days, the more work that you can get done. That's just what I found over time. And like I said, shoot for a gallon a day if you're exercising consistently. Now, the next part to being healthy, and this is actually probably more important than the other things I'm about to list after, but it's actually sleep. You want to make sure you're getting enough sleep for you. Now, the amount of sleep that you get really depends on what your body says, because every person's body is different. Some people, it's actually kind of rare, but some people can actually function really well off of the 4 hours of sleep, the 6 hours of sleep, and do that consistently for a long period of time. Now, it's just kind of genetic. Now, I don't have that gift. I can definitely get the 4 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep for a certain period of time, grind time. I'm just getting the work done. But I know if I do that consistently for a long time, which I've done plenty of times before, I just start to get tired one of these days. There's a feeling of burnout, and I know that my body's not meant for that. So I typically function pretty well off the 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes less, sometimes around 8, but I'd say 6 to 8 for me. But it completely depends on your body. I'm not a health expert, I'm not a sleep expert, but I know the better sleep that I get, the more rested I feel. One, I'm just happier throughout the days, and when I'm happier, I enjoy my work more. I feel rested to attack the day of work. And so that's number 2 on top of the stuff that you put in your body. Then you have the sleep. And then it's actually the exercise. Now, like I said, no one has to get jacked if they want to improve themselves for their business. But the one thing I'll say, if you want to do the least amount of effort, but still get the same kind of results, the one thing you should focus on in terms of exercise is your heart. You want to work your cardiovascular system, which means cardio. These are things like running, walking, swimming, biking, anything that'll get your cardiovascular system up. And it just depends on what you want to do. So you also have to keep in mind, if you haven't exercised in a long time, you have to be very gentle with the joints. So a great thing that pretty much everyone, I don't want to say everyone, but most people can do is just to walk every single day. You will be surprised at how far a 30-minute walk on a treadmill or outside can go in terms of your health and your happiness. If you just do something like that, yes, it's still cardio. You are still burning calories. That's the point, and you're getting your heart working. So make sure you're just prioritizing the cardio in your exercise. Now, if you want to get jacked, this part is kind of not as important, I would say, in terms of the translation to your business. But if you want to do resistance work, you can do that as well to develop muscles. But those are really the main things. It's just paying attention to what goes into your body, getting enough sleep, and getting some exercise. If you do these 3 things, I promise you that you will live a better life, a happier life as an entrepreneur, and all the stresses that you once felt, they're not going to be as strong. One, because you're just happier with yourself. You have the energy to take on the different stressors of your life as an entrepreneur. And I appreciate you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, I want you to connect with me on social media. I'd love to hear your feedback and just any guests that you want me to interview. You can find all my social media links in the show description. But otherwise, nice talking to you. Peace.